What's up, YouTubers? It's been a minute. To all my subscribers, I know it's been a while. Um, Pretty soon I'm gonna come up with some new movie reviews real soon. I've been watching some really hot flicks, and I have those ready for you in a second. But right now, I just felt like it was time for me to review a book. I guess I'm gonna be doing a book review show since I like to read. And today I'm gonna be reviewing A Wizard of Earthsea, written by Ursela K. Guin. It was first published back in 1968, and since then has received a very cult and huge following, and also created a new world in fantasy genre called earthsea. Mostly a large island-based world that's mostly dominated by water. I had to say that this is my first foray into the fantasy genre outside of stuff that's pretty much been accepted mainstream, like Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia or stuff like that. This is my first foray into something that's closely to like hardcore fantasy reading, and I have to say I was very pleased with this. It was very interesting. The plot line pretty much precedes the concept of a boarding school for wizards decades before J.K. Rowling came up with Harry Potter, which is at one side the core of the story. Now, it's mostly about a boy named Dooney, who's from the island of Guin, one of the larger islands in Earthsea. His mother's deceased, his father's a bronzesmith, and pretty much he has an aptitude for magic, and he learns magic from his witch aunt. One day he saves his village from an invasion by a northern tribe using a mist conjuring spell that he created. And thus, there's this big ceremony where people learn their true names. Now, part of the Earthsea lore is that knowing the names of things will give you power over it. And that's why you should never really give people your real name. And in this one, his true name is Ged. And he becomes an apprentice to the local wizard from the woods named Guin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please don't flag me or bash me for mispronouncing these names. It's the first time I've read this book. Eventually, it's decided that Ged will go to the island of Roke, where it's renowned for its school for wizards. And there he meets his best friend Vetch, who will become very important later in the book. And also he meets Jasper, who is ultimately his rival at school. During this time, his pride overtakes him in constant bickering from Jasper, and then he unleashes a shadow beast that attempts to kill him. The archmage that's there dies protecting Ged, and then there's another archmage that comes along and tells him that he needs more training and things like that. Pretty much the rest of the book, Ged is on the run from the shadow beast, who he feels is, always on his tail or is always trying to destroy him. And also the fact that throughout this, it's not pretty much most of the story, it's not the type of magic we're used to seeing or hearing like in World of Warcraft or things like that. Mostly the magic is largely unseen but felt and known in its work, like in Lord of the Rings. You don't see Gandalf throwing energy blasts randomly, but he does bits of magic that's not seen with the eye, but you know that it's being affected by the change of the environment, which is at the core of the story. It all involves speaking certain words, knowing the true names of things, which is the law of the magic physics of this world that Ursela K has proudly created. I was very happy with this book. I actually got it from the library, but if I do get the chance, I will purchase it and add it to my collection. And I'm just about to start the second book, The Tombs of Atuan. And don't give me any spoilers. And I got the rest of the main series on hold at the library, so I'm going to read the rest of the series because the stuff is really good. Now I'm going to start off, I must say, the first time I've heard about this series, it was on Sci-Fi Channel. They had a mini-series called Tales of Earthsea. Now, I did not watch Tales of Earthsea because it didn't look that interesting to me. I felt like an asshole at first because I knew it was based on a series of books, like it said in the trailer for it. But then later on, looking up on internet sites and looking up an article Ursela K herself wrote, that, and reading the book, I can see why. It was panned by critics and fans, and Ursela K herself has said that she got screwed in the creative process because they did not adhere to many of the things that were original in the book. For one thing, most of the characters in Earthsea are people of color for the most part, except for certain tribes in the north, which Ursela K was very profound on keeping that way. As a matter of fact, the article is called A Whitewashed Earthsea. The character Ged, from the way she described him, he would look like maybe a Native American, and Ojian is black. At least they kept Ojian that way. But all the other characters are all white, and Ged is white in the movie, and she was very displeased with that. She purposely did this because she stated in the realm of fantasy works, many of the characters are all white, and she wanted to change that. And overall, it was just a meaningless 2 hours worth of sex and violence and nothing that had to do with the original story. Having read the first book and about to read the second one and the rest of the series, I have no intention of watching Tales of Earthsea. And I don't think it's being broadcast anymore. And I don't think it's on DVD either, and I'm not going to watch it. I'll just be satisfied with finished reading the books and, hopefully talking to other people about Earthsea. Well, that's all I got to say about A Wizard of Earthsea. I'm going to get started on Tombs of Atuan, and thanks for listening. See you guys later. Peace.